'Cause I just know you got me thinking about forever. Got a crush, crush, crush on you. I just wanna.
Welcome to Life with Kimmi
and Jeff. Hey, folks.
Hey, so today's topic is what scares us the most about getting older. And you may have some of the same fears. If you have different fears, we'd love to hear, so drop it in the comments, but we're going to hop right into it. I think the main thing, or one of them that scares us, is losing our health. We have a lot of friends that, frankly, at this age, they either have dementia, losing hearing, losing eyesight. It's just a lot going on right now. We have our own health issues, you know. Sometimes for me, my vision also, I have a lot of floaters. I have a lot of eye floaters, and that bothers me. It worries me. So I have an eye doctor appointment coming up. Sometimes my knees, my digestive tract is really bad. Sometimes I gotta sneeze.
She has a lot of
allergies. And they're getting worse the older I get. Sometimes I look like a raccoon about the eyes because my allergies are so bad. So it frightens me sometimes, you know, all these different things. So what are some things that frighten you about your health?
I have, my dad passed from colon cancer, so I have that thought in my head about myself. As a matter of fact, we have to schedule my colonoscopy. It's supposed to be done if you have a family member before. Well, they want you to do it every 10 years on a normal arrangement, right? And if you don't have any history, but if you have history in your family of someone that have colon cancer, they want you to come every 5 years. So I did my first one at 50, and now I'm 55, and so now I have to schedule that. So
I didn't even mention that with myself. My mom, she had a stroke. Diabetes, my dad diabetic. So that's something I'm constantly looking at, is my blood sugar number. Mm-hmm. And not to cut you off, because y'all gonna kill me for that. I already know, but yeah, he talks about that sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so those are. I mean, I'm not walking around worried about it, you know, like I'm deathly scared. But I mean, it is a thought, and because I mean, you can only do what you can do. I mean, you know, you wake up in the morning, it's one thing, and you go to bed, it's something different, right? Mm-hmm. So those are the first thing as far as being concerned about, you know, your health. Mm-hmm. Another thing is
running out of money. Running out of money. What fears you as we get older about running out of money?
I mean, that's the reality, because everything is higher now. You go to the grocery store, you have to pay more with whatever you put in the shopping cart. Or you got to take something out, depending on your financial circumstances. You got to take something out of there because you can't afford it. So those are some things that one can think about, especially in your 50s, mm-hmm. mid 50s, not having enough money to care for your needs.
And for me, not wanting to work for the rest of my life would fall under that. I don't want to be. If I work at Walmart as a greeter, it's because I want to be there. It's the difference between you got to be somewhere and you want to be somewhere, you know. So I don't want to have to be at Walmart working till 90 and saying welcome to Walmart. Again, if I want to do that just for fun, just to get out the house, yeah, but I don't want to do that because I haven't prepared. So the running out of money sometimes, it doesn't cause me stress. But I definitely think about it. And now the number they usually throw around is you need to have at least $1 million, $2 million. I'm like, we ain't got $1 million.
No, we ain't got that. So
kind of way. So does that cause me a little stress? It does. But I try not to, like I said, just worry about it so much. My blood pressure is crazy. But that's something that we think about, is running out of money. Another one we have written down is losing loved ones. As we get older, that is something that weighs on us heavily. We've had a lot of deaths already. And not only have we had a lot of deaths in our family, but our friends are experiencing a lot of death. Either their spouses or they themselves are coming down with illnesses, you know. So that part has been challenging. And I've heard older people before say that was the hard part for them. All of their family members have died, and now they're the last one left. You know, I often say, and I'm not suicidal, guys, so don't write and don't, you know, I'm not. But I always say if something happened to my husband, I would just want to just take a pill and sleep on my own self. You know, after I lost my dad, I had to have surgery. I had gallbladder surgery. My dad, I lost him in March. this was during COVID, I had to have surgery. And by this point I had lost my sister. And I was like, you know what? If I don't even wake up from the surgery, I don't care. Because I was just in so much pain, you know? So I understand now when they say that. When I was younger and I would hear older people say that, you know, I'm the last one of my family, I'm like, oh, that's so sad. But now that it's happening to me, Jeffrey looks at photos over here and he'll be like, this person ain't here no more. That person ain't here no more. That person ain't here no more. And that's just sad. And it's frightening too, because it's like, when are you the next person that's not going to be in the picture? Or that's in the picture that ain't going to be here?
Yeah. Yeah. So those are some valid thoughts. Let's go back to what we talked about as far as not perhaps running out of money. What can you do?
Well, let's finish the negatives and then we'll come back to the pros.
Well, I was trying to make it simple. We can do the whole negative. We'll do that.
No, we're gonna do all the negative. The statement is that we're talking about today is what scares us about getting older. So I want us to have a frank conversation about what's frightening us, because the same things are frightening our audience. And we just want to be frank with you all. And these are some things that are concerning to us. And you may not even have nobody to express this to. So this is a safe space. So we're going to talk about the negative and we'll come back to the pointers. So the next one is becoming isolated. Are you fearful of becoming isolated? We stay pretty active right now. But as you get older, is that something you think people will forget about you? You know, as you continue to age, and maybe you can't go to so many community events and participate in things. You've never heard people say, oh, I got forgotten about?
I haven't thought about it, but it's something that I guess. Have
you heard it before?
I've heard where, yeah.
La La Land.
Yeah. No, I'm not living in La La Land.
Land.
I'm just saying because
you know this yourself, those that are watching, out of sight, out of mind. If you worship every week and you don't go for about a month or something, people they forget about you. And it happens more and more as you get older. You're not as active as you used to be. And it's like people forget. And even in our own family, we've had people to say that. So we speaking, you know, pretty transparent. So that's a concern of mine. You know, are people going to forget me if something happens to my husband? You know, I've heard a lot of friends and family say, we had friends, but do I have friends? I think I got my own friends. But, I mean, so that's nothing that you ever think about?
I haven't thought about that.
And as a man, he may not, but as a woman, let me tell you. As a woman, let me tell you, you think about that again, especially if your husband has roles in different organizations and stuff like that. If something happens to him, was it that they like Jeffrey? Did they like me? Do they like us? You know, am I going to be by myself? So those are things that I think about just being forgotten about. And it may have happened to you too. I do think about sometimes, you know, again, just being forgotten about. And the next thing I want to talk about really quick is wasting the years that we still have. So I'm pretty intentional about making sure that the average age people live 70, 80, you know, according to the Bible, according to the doctors, everything. Got a few people that may make it to 100. Being in your 50s, you start counting down the days. You know, I got 20 good years left. I want to make sure that I'm not wasting that time and I enjoy myself, do as much as I can while I physically can. Some people's body fail them. Some people's mind fail them. So whatever I do, I want to make sure I enjoy life. So yeah, do I take a few extra trips sometimes when I may not be able just to afford it? Yep. I'm going to do it because I want to enjoy what I can while I can. So that's something else that can be frightening for people. Do you ever think like that? And again, especially since I had so many deaths in my family, I'm like, I want to make sure I don't want to wait till I'm on my death door and say, you know what, I want to go to Florida. I had that happen with my dad. You know, he always wanted to go to Florida, never made it to Florida. And it made no sense. We in Georgia, 4 hours away. But it's like, oh, I don't have the money, or I don't have the time. I don't have the, you know, bump that. If I got the health and right now while I can, I'm going. If it's something I want to do. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I think it can very easily begin to say that you don't have the time to do things, or you kind of get lost in the sauce per se. So I agree with you. Now, on the other hand, we got the things that we can be afraid of or concerned over, but what are some positives? What are some other ways to think about, what scares you or us about getting older? Because I mean, that's just the fact that we are getting older. The first thing that we talked about is losing our health, and there are things that we can do. You just don't have to just not exercise. You just don't eat whatever you want to eat. Now, here's the thing. It's interesting that if you've been around for a number of years, if you're around our age, you know that when you were growing up, the food that tastes different, the stuff they put in the food now, even though it may have the same name, but it's not the same as it was in the past. So that means certain stuff you can't really eat no more. You got all these red dyes and all that kind of stuff in there. So you need to as you get older, you may have to stay away from those things, or cut down, eat better. Try to do more exercise, which I'm trying to do. And after I'm planning in a little bit, I want to go ahead and walk around a little bit, so I can try to stay active. That's why I like to cut the grass, so I can stay moving around. What happens? How many of us have been on the road? You're driving someplace, and you get out the car, or you get up in the morning, you're like, oh, I'm all stiff. So you got to take a minute to get everything moving. So
motion is lotion.
Yeah, motion is lotion. Keep that body moving.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing to do.
Yeah,
if you can be afraid of your health. Losing your health, work on your health. Don't just give it, just don't leave it to chance. Yeah, that's the point.
Don't leave it to chance. The next thing we had was running out of money. We talked about that one. So instead of really worrying about it and letting it frighten you to death, start now. It's never too late to reduce some of that financial stress. It's not. Start smallest to largest. We'll do a whole video on how we've paid off some debt. But smallest to largest.
That's a whole nother chapter right there. We did that. That's let's stick to it because before I go off topic.
So start smallest to largest. I'll just give you a brief overview and then start paying off those bills. If you got $100 bill, $500 bill, $600 bill, start with the $100 bill. Boom, 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 gone. Stop eating out so much. The next bill, boom, 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 gone. So you can't be afraid of the debt. You got to face it like straight on with the bull. The bull, grab it by the horns and get that debt paid off. And again, we'll do a whole video on that. And then start saving, period. $20, $30, whatever it is. You may not have a whole 100 to even save in your 50s. You may not. The average person don't have $1,000 in their bank account. That's just facts. The average person does not have $1,000 in their bank account in their 50s, okay? So we're going to do some whole money topic shows too, because we're pretty passionate about changing that. It took us years to learn it. It took us years. So now we want to start helping other people. But you can start now by saving just a little bit. Stop eating out so much. Cut out one extra meal per week. That's $20 times 4. That's $80 a month, okay? So we'll do some more on that. When it comes to losing loved ones, we had just a little tip we had is to cherish the time that you do have with people. Make memories. We're very big and passionate about that, creating new memories. And that was actually something our therapist mentioned to us, the need to. We took some free therapy from free and paid from hospice. So if you're ever in the middle of losing someone and they offered a free therapy, take it. Okay, we had several opportunities with several family members, and he was telling us that that's a good way to help with some of the grief process is to create new memories. So we're big on trying to do something. Oh, you know what? Something we did on our vacation recently was renting a car.
Yeah. So he that was one of the things that he challenged me particularly because it would I figure out that I'm very structured, and what was that all about?
He just figured it out.
No.
I knew that.
Yeah, when I say the therapist, that's what he as he was talking with me.
He knew it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was trying to be nice.
But he said, he's structured. So
loosen up, Jeff. Right?
So do something.
Do
different.
that right now. Do it.
Okay.
No, just like me.
Yeah, well, I'm scared because I might hurt something. Okay, all right, okay. So, but he said do something different. So we were on the trip that we were just recently on, and we've been in other places where you can like rent a vehicle, and I'm like, okay, well, I've never wanted to rent something like out the country. Like if we get on a cruise and people will say, we're going to get off the ship and we're going to rent. I'm like, I'm not renting something not the country, because you get yourself jacked up and get into an accident, and that ship is not going to wait for you. So I did it. I said, well, to myself, we went to breakfast, and I said, well, the car's over there and it's still in the States. And so let's rent a vehicle. It was a kind of a semi, like an island. Was it Nantucket? We took a trip to there. And so the rental cars there. So
that was Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, Martha's Vineyard. That's what it was. So how much does it cost? Let's see. We could have just done a regular tour, but then again, they was like, we met someone in the restaurant that said that they used the car, and they said you could see more on your own, which is true. When instead opposed to going on the tour that they put together, we were able to. Kim had already looked at the different things that she wanted to see, and it was still in the States. So I'm not have to worry about that part. I don't have to worry about being out the country and getting locked up in the gulag or something like that. So anyway, we did that. That was different, and I enjoyed it. I'll do that again. But that was something different. So those are the way to keep instead of just being stuck in your own way of doing things for year after year after year, try to find something a little bit different. There was an episode on Seinfeld where I think it was George says, whatever he normally would do, he said, I realized when I did it differently, I would normally go to the right, and I go to the left, and it turned out good for him. So those are one thing. So it was crazy.
That's a good episode.
Yeah, so that was a good one. So
Seinfeld, yeah.
So that's one thing. Another thing we talked about is not being isolating yourself. So that means in opposed to doing that, then you want to stay connected with your friends. You may not want to go out and do something, but I have a buddy of mine. He'll shoot me a message, say, "Hey, I'm about to go up here to the local Mexican restaurant and get a margarita every now and then." That's what we do. He'll just send a message. That's his way of saying, "Hey, I want to hook up. Let's do something and hang out." So don't stay. Hang out with your friends. Mm-hmm. Don't become isolated where you just by yourself, because when you're by yourself, you start thinking crazy. When you're just in the house over and over again, that's you're in your own thoughts.
And don't just hang out with old people or people your own age group. One day I took my friend's daughter. I think she might have been about 17 at the time. I've kind of watched this child grow up, and she and I went to the museum together. So you don't have to always hang out with people your own age group, your own peer group. It could be younger people, and they need experiences from older people. That's a good way for you to get what's out here, or take what's up here rather, and share it with the next generation, and keep yourself busy and active. Learn a new hobby, So those are things. And when it comes back to relationships and friendships at work, where you worship at, stay in the middle of what's going on. Don't, even at work, don't isolate yourself. Don't just go to work, come home, go to worship, come home. No guilt. Go to lunch with some of those people. Look who's elderly, maybe, who you're worshiping with, who you're serving with. Can you help do something for them? All those kind of things will help with the isolation piece. And the last thing is wasting the years that you still have, or that we still have. Something that helps us is to, again, instead of focusing on I'm aging, I'm dying. No. What new experiences, like we already mentioned, what can help us get the best out of the next decade? What are some goals? No matter how old you are, 50, 60, 70, set some goals for yourself. My goal is always working on my health. I have another goal to make sure we grow this YouTube channel. My next, I have 3 YouTube channels. I want all of those fully working and optimized. Is one of my personal goals, to make sure that's happening. Make sure our businesses are still running. Make sure our health is still good. So have some personal goals. I do have another goal, is I want to go cross country in the middle of the country. Is a goal, like Colorado, Utah, stuff like that. I've never been here before. So have some goal. If it's just something small, 2-day cruise, 3-day cruise, find somebody that can hang out with you, because all your peers may not want to do it as they get older. Some people are going to be those people who don't want to do nothing, and that's okay. But there is somebody who wants to, again, look outside your peer group. It may be somebody younger than you or even older than you. It's a lot of people older than us have more energy than we do. And older people are our best friends, So they keep you going and motivated. When it's like they could be taking it easy, they like, oh no, why would I do that? I'm like, he still cut his grass. He's 83. Yeah, he does. That's how he's still living at 83. Any final thoughts?
No, those are just some good tips that we have found to be helpful, and actual advice that we're taking for ourselves. So, although we're giving it and we've living some of it, some of the points that we've discovered that are helpful, we're going to try that ourselves, so that we can continue to, as best we can, enjoy ourselves at this stage in our life.
So do you have to be scared about getting old?
No,
nope.
You don't. You don't have to be scared. You do have to think about it.
Think about it.
And organize your life.
Think about it, be about it, plan about it.
Yeah. And if you do those things, it'll be a lot easier for you.
All right, guys. Well, until next time.
All right. We'll see y'all next go around. We'll see you with Life with Kim and Jeff.
Is it Life with Kim and Jeff?
Well, tell me what it is. What is it?
Life with who? Kimmi.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, with Kimmi and Jeff. There we go again.
Bye, guys.
Bye now.
You got me thinking about forever. Got a crush on you. I just want